What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for another Tottenham update. We are here with Ashmatic. How are we doing, bro?
I'm good, my brother. Blessed as always. Thanks for having me on. Are you good?
Yeah, I'm all good, man. I'm all good. I mean, we've done quite a few updates today, and not much new to talk about, but there has been some developments in terms of there's a bid come in for Conor Gallagher today. Gary Jacob of the Times reporting that West Ham have bid almost 40 million for Conor Gallagher. Tottenham are also keen to add energy to their midfield, but it's not clear whether Chelsea would sell to their North London rivals. And that's been backed up by Fabrizio Romano as well, saying that there has been a bid gone in from West Ham. No official answer from Chelsea as of yet. But what are you thinking? Do you want to see Conor Gallagher at Spurs anyway?
Mixed feelings for me. I can understand why. Whether he's an upgrade on Højbjerg, I'm not sure, if I'm being totally honest. He has a lot of energy, has a lot more goals than most of our midfielders at the moment. So I do see that. I understand why the link is there, but he does give away a lot of free kicks. As much as he's quite confident and he's quite combative in the defense, trying to win the ball back, he sometimes is quite needless in his challenges, a bit sloppy, and sometimes as well he's a bit rash in his passing. He can give the ball away quite a lot. So he tries a little bit too hard, and like a player that does the Hollywood pass when it's not needed.
Yeah.
Sometimes is guilty of that, and you can give away possession quite easily. First touch as well is sometime-ish. But yeah, like I said, he's a goal threat. He's a goal threat. He did very well at Palace. Pre-season, I've been watching him at Chelsea. He's not been bad as well. Chelsea scored a goal as well in pre-season. So I do understand where he does add value to our team. But like I said, if he doesn't come to us, I wouldn't be mad. Like, we can get better quality, I think, in that position if we're aiming high.
I think with the energy levels that he brings to midfield, he's a midfielder that Ange would probably really value. But if we were to sell Højbjerg, which looks like it's going to happen, do you even think that we need a midfielder to replace him, or just that if more midfielders leave, that we're going to need to bring one in?
I think everyone's screaming out for a defensive midfielder. I think that's where we want competition for. I think Basuma might start as the defensive mid. Not everyone agrees that he is the mainstay. I think he is, but everyone wants like a solid, disciplined tackler that wins the ball back and then distributes the ball.
That's what they want.
Yeah, that's what they want. But yeah, I think Ange is prioritizing more of a box-to-box midfielder to kind of be the second eight. We've got Maddison there, that's nailed on. Basuma's going to be like looking like the captain, kind of defensive mid. Really impressed with him. So I just think that box to box next to like a Maddison, I think that's what Ange wants in his system. Obviously, us fans, we want something a little bit different, but I'm pretty sure whoever he brings in, whether they're the finished article or not, he's going to be able to see elements that we can't see, and he's going to be able to mold them into a player that he wants, because he's done that wherever he's gone. He's actually looked at players that maybe people haven't quite fancied, but then there's a few things that he might pick up on and think, oh, actually, you know what? This is a player I can really do something with. And I think that's the reason why we were linked to Conor Gallagher, because I think it was Ange signing. He was the one that wanted him. Whether Chelsea would sell to a rival in Spurs, that's another question.
Poch still bitter about not getting the phone being picked up to him, to be honest. But like, the price banded out for him, 40 million, close to 40 million for Conor Gallagher. I mean, surely there are much better targets elsewhere for that kind of price.
I think so, yeah. I think across Europe you can get there's lots of talented players on the ball. I think we were linked to Vega, weren't we?
Yeah, he looks class.
He's got more goals than Gallagher. Gallagher only got 3 goals last season.
Yeah.
And a lot of the Chelsea fans don't fancy him. I watched him against Wolves, and he was very sloppy. Like in the terms of like the build-up play was giving the ball away a lot, and you kind of need someone that's a bit strong on the ball to kind of progress that play. And I think someone that's technical, Vega's quite good. He's quite good in tight spaces. Not to say, like, the thing about Gallagher, I keep going back and forth, but Gallagher on the wings actually isn't too bad. If you see when he progresses, he tries to build through the wings and hugs the touchline quite a bit. But I just feel like Vega is Spanish, just got that different level of technique. Some people will argue he's a bit weak, a bit flimsy, maybe not suited for the Premier League, but the kid's 21. So I feel like again, it's another player that could be molded into like an Ange player. Do you know what I mean? If he thinks
Yeah,
the
yeah.
quality is good enough, we need technical players, people that are tight, like good in tight spaces, tight areas. See people that can look after the
That
ball.
can also
So
last 90 minutes though, all right? Yeah, as well.
that can also last 90 minutes. I agree. No, facts. But I think Ange rotates quite a bit, to be fair. Like even like a full 60 minutes, some players will be running so much, he might swap players from time to time throughout the half. He's going to use the 5 subs. And I feel different games, situations will use different type of players. So but yeah, I'm all for it. Like Vega will be completely different to what we have at the moment, technique wise. So and goal threat wise, like I said, 11 goals. So that shouldn't be sniffed at a top league as well, top level, and Spanish international under 21s. You're looking at a top player.
If I'm going to compare the two, I think I'd prefer to bring in Gabri Vega. But when I'm trying to compare Conor Gallagher, like what you're saying about the 3 goals, the Chelsea fans didn't fancy him. I mean, did Chelsea fans fancy anyone in their team last season? That's the
Yeah,
honest
that's a
truth
good
about
point.
it.
It's a good
Like,
point because the
I prefer
system.
to look at him as the Crystal Palace Conor Gallagher as opposed to the
Oh yeah,
Chelsea Conor
facts.
Gallagher.
Yeah. No, you're right, 100%. It depends what like lenses you want to look at it through. So, I mean, for Palace, he was getting into the England actual main setup, not even
Yeah,
under 21s.
yeah,
He's breaking it in. So it just goes to show, depending on like your tactical setup, the players around you, that can bring out a difference in the player. And Chelsea, let's face it, the whole team stunk. Do you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So then there wasn't a player that, apart from defensively, they were superb. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah,
But attacking wise, they were terrible.
yeah.
So yeah, it just goes to show, you put a player in a proper system, you'll see the best out of them.
All right, well, let's move on from Conor Gallagher. Let's talk about Edmund Tapsoba one more. Well, I will not, hopefully not one more time, but I mean, it's the same update every single time we hear from
Yeah,
Fabrizio Romano, and he goes, "Tottenham are still in talks with Tapsoba. The deal remains not easy for Spurs, but are actively working on that one as the club are focused on the Harry Kane story. But Tapsoba remains top of the list." I mean, how long are we going to hear these same updates for over and over again? Just get the deal done, man.
I've got a theory, and I said it before, and this is the reason why I was like against a certain individual at the top.
All right,
He
you can name drop here, man. You can.
Levy, yeah. It's getting boring, isn't it? But basically, I just feel like he has a certain way that he deals with businesses. He likes to draw out transfers. That's what kind of frustrated me. It's the
Yeah,
reason why I was against it, because other teams will get their players sorted out. And Poch, I remember, clearly moaned about not having players for a pre-season and him starting slow because of it. And players coming and acclimatizing to a new culture, getting used to their teammates, understanding the tactical play, how things are, just having that relationship, that kind of chemistry with players on the pitch, that's being missed. And I feel like with Levy, obviously it's a tactic that he uses to draw out and bring down the valuation of a player to get the best possible deal. But I think that is at a detriment to the actual team itself. I think that's a cost for us, because I think, this is me speculating, I reckon that sometimes he might try to draw out the transfer to kind of save on wages, because that's like a month less that you have to pay it on wages, and you're saving the club or himself money. Do you know what I mean? Saving the club money by not spending that extra wage bill. So that's the reason why a lot of the deals in the past, we did it on the actual day of the deadline day. Like,
yeah.
so there's no smoke without fire. It's happening again, and we saw it with last season. We started quick, and it's like he's got a quote of like how many players they are allowed to come in, and then it just stops, and then nothing happens until maybe like August, when the season starts. Then we start seeing players come in. So, and I think as well, because as the window draws in and players start, finding their replacements, then I think that again makes more movement in the transfer window. And I think that's when he starts rubbing his hands like, all right, let me get to work now. Whereas other players or other teams, sorry, they've already sort of like sorted out their centre backs. You've got like Arsenal with Timber sorted out already bedded in. Do you know what I mean? And they've got a better defence. They conceded less goals than us anyway. But we
Oh,
knew from the start of the season where the priorities were. And again, we haven't done it. It's like right wing back was a priority last season, and we ended up buying Richarlison first.
yeah. But it's like you're talking about a position, right? That our season hinges on this position. Like if we don't sort out this position, we end up with a long lay. You know we're going to have a bad season. You know we're going to concede bucket loads of goals, potentially even more goals than we conceded last season with the way we're going to play and set up and play our football. So it's just mad to me why they wouldn't prioritize this position, get it done first, take them on the tour so they can integrate with the team. But we're just letting it rumble on once again.
I don't understand why he wouldn't. So after the backlash that happened, during the season, made him feel really uncomfortable. I thought they would try to address things super quick because they don't want this backlash again. But yet again, it's like they're feeding into the negativity. They're letting it build up because at one point they sought the manager out. They bought Madison. There was like a feel-good factor for a little bit, and then now we knew who the targets were, and then it's just nothing. Like for good. I'd say a good month. I feel like a whole month has passed by and there's been no activity in terms of what we need and what to prioritize and to help to build what was damaged. Like now you're just literally proving every hater or critic that we had at the club right. You know what I'm saying? So I've got no sympathy.
Yeah, I think it was Manor who came in maybe 3 or 4 days before the tour. And it feels like once they're on tour, nothing can get done. And it's like they're just focused on pre-season. And it's like, come on, guys, this is such an instrumental position for us. And it has been for so many years and it's never been sorted. But what looks like it is going to be sorted very soon is this future of Davinson Sanchez. As Gary Jacobs says that Sanchez is weighing up a move to Spartak Moscow now after the Russian club have agreed a fee of 15 million euros for the Tottenham Hotspur defender. But Sanchez has also attracted interest from Real Betis, Sevilla, Galatasaray, but Spartak are the ones that have made the highest bid so far. So it looks like an end in the saga of Davinson Sanchez finally.
Celebrations all around, man. Disco Dave finally getting his skates and skating somewhere else. I mean, this guy's been shot of so much confidence. It's just his time. He's been here for too long. He came on a whim of promise from Ajax, technical player, quick, fast. He's meant to be that beast for us. He was meant to be that beast for us, but like it just has not worked out whatsoever. For whatever coach he's played for, it's just like anytime you give the guy a chance. I think he's had the one stint. I think back end of last season when we had that run and we lost Romero. I think that was the only time when I could say, yeah, Sanchez kind of filled in and did his thing. But other than that, it's been peak. It's been curtains. Like he's just Bambi on ice. All the names that have come out for him, like literally, he just literally, like, even in pre-season, I was like, oh my days, like just nothing. You can't even back it. It's mad.
Yeah,
but
I know. And I would go and say like he had a good first season when he first came, and like he's just regressed season on season with a little stints here and there, like you say. But I mean, I'm just happy to see the back of him, to be honest. And do you think now that he's going out the door, if it is finalised over the next few days, do you think we'll start to see movement in incoming centre backs?
Yeah, I mean, that's how it generally works, doesn't it? It's normally one in, one out. That's how we move. We kind of like don't like to typically, I mean, apart from last season, typically we like to do that. We need to get one out first before one comes in. It's just the way we operate. So yeah, I think that money, the funds that we generate from Sanchez will be used towards whatever player we bring in. Not to say that we're broke or anything, but I think that's how
I like to act like it, though.
yeah, we move tight, man. We move like tight jeans, skinny jeans, boy, fitted. But it's mad. Like I actually think the wages. I'm not sure what wages he's on, but again, I think that helps to allow another person comes in because I think they got a certain wage structure and he wants to keep it at a certain level. So maybe that's why it's one in, one out. But no excuses. But yeah, I'm happy that Sanchez is on his way for him as well as him personally, because obviously last season in front of his old man, his mum, his parents, like yeah, he just got booed off the pitch. It was mad. It was crazy. So he just needs to go for himself.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the move to Russia, but like I thought they had like a ban or something signing players and some sanctions put over them. But look, it is what it is. If they want to pay 15 million,
Saudi Arabia, Russia, Ukraine, bro, come on, this is football.
Let's talk about Harry Kane now. We brought you news yesterday that Joe Lewis had ordered Daniel Levy to either make Kane sign that contract or sell up. Well, Matt Law says that one high-profile source who has worked with both Levy and Tottenham for well over a decade told Telegraph Sport that Joe Lewis has never got involved in football-related decisions, which is why reports of him ordering Levy to sell Kane if he doesn't sign a contract has met with a lot of caution by both men. And Loic Tanzi, who is a PSG ITK, says that PSG are now making real progress on Harry Kane. Pini Zahavi, who is close to both Nasser Khalifi and Levy, is helping Paris in the quest. Tottenham boss prefers to sell Harry Kane to the French club. I mean, I don't buy that for 1 second. There's no chance Kane is going to PSG, in my opinion. But how do you see this Kane saga playing out?
Yeah, I agree with you, man. Peter Pan, make believe. I think it's all coming from France side, not our side. It's like we only take the evidence when it comes to the UK. We're biased. We only believe our journalists. But if for whatever reason they marry up, then obviously there's some truth to it. I think Kane wants to move. If he is going to make a move, it would be to Germany. I think he wants to do whatever is best for the club, because obviously I think he's the type of character that won't force through anything after what's happened. I think after what happened with Man City, I think his camp, not just himself, but his camp learned that, this isn't the way to get what you want. So I think he's being quite diplomatic in his approach by not saying anything. I know a lot of fans are like, oh, just let us know your stance. Like, that would be ideal if we knew, because then we could just kind of all get over it. It's like a messy breakup. Like, you just want to know where you stand. But with Kane, I just feel like he's happy to, if he doesn't go, he's happy to push on for one more season and give it his all, because he has been here for over 10 years and he is a Tottenham boy at the end of the day. He's one of our own. So he's going to want to do, and also just for his career, he's a professional. So he wants to, and all of those players that he's played with them season after season after season. They're his boys. So he's not going to want to snake them anyway. Do you know what I'm saying? You know how emotional Son gets. So he's going to want to do whatever's best. Like, if, he can leave, but like leave with a nice fee, and that can help to, generate funds for Spurs, I think he will do that. But also, if that fee's not met, then he's happy to kind of kick on and try and push Spurs into the Champions League, because I know that's the goal. Yeah, that's just literally how I see it, bro.
Do you think, though, how do you think it's actually going to play out, though? Do you think he leaves before the end of the transfer window this summer?
You know what? If I'm being honest, that German journalist didn't really help things. I think it was running along smooth until that kind of messed out. And there was other things as well that came out in their press or from the club. And I think it's rubbing up Spurs the wrong kind of way. So it's those little two snaggles kind of messed up the deal for him. But I still think I can see it happening. I can see it happening, because you know what it is? It's just every day it's relentless. It's like another bid comes through, another bid comes through. And finally, there's going to be one bid where I think Levy's going to bite. He's going to have to, it's going to be a hard one, because he's come out and said, look, there's no price, like 120 million, and that's it. I'm not budging on that. But the closer you get to the 120 million mark, I think he's going to have to make a hard decision. And I think that decision will result in Kane possibly leaving to go to Bayern Munich. I think he could go. I honestly think he can go. I think so.
Yeah, I agree, man. I really agree. And it's going to be a hard day when it happens. But I kind of feel like if this happened under Conte or Jose Mourinho, it would have been an absolute travesty.
Oh, of course.
And it still is a travesty, but because in those kind of systems, it was solely reliant on Harry Kane to do the bits for us. Now with Ange, you expect goals to come from all areas of the football pitch. So I don't think it's as bad for us now as it would have been maybe last season or a year ago.
And also, as well, I think because we've heard the news for a while now, and after the World Cup, we were talking about contracts, and even before the World Cup, we were talking about contracts. Never happened. Just went quiet. So from then, I think, spidey senses, everyone should have been on high alert. Hairs on your arm should have been standing up. Exclamation mark. But yeah, I just thought yeah, this is football. This is football. And the closer it got, and the summer came along, nothing happened. I said, yeah, you know what? I think the fact that we finished where we finished as well, because he even came out and said, "Oh, you know what? I'm not going to stick my nose up a conference league. It's still a cup." To show, like, his mentality is of that. Like, he wants to
Yeah.
win trophies. He wants to win stuff. And then when we missed out of that, like that little piece of Europe, I was like, you know what? It's going to be hard. It's going to be a hard one. But yeah, I think the lad wants Champions League. I think the boy wants it. Yeah, I think he had a taste of it last season, and he he's at that age where another season again without Champions League, is he ever going to be like spoken in the same breath as like for Tottenham? Yeah, he's a legend. Do you know what I mean? In our eyes, he can do no wrong. He will always be a legend. But for him as a footballer, as a professional, he might see it a little bit different. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I get that. You need to win trophies. You need to have that behind you. But look, let's move on and let's talk about the last story of the day, which is a bit of a joke one, but we're going to bring it to you anyway. As Loic Tanzi, again, the PSG ITK, is saying that Tottenham want to take Kylian Mbappe on loan this season from PSG before he completes the switch to Real Madrid in 2024. PSG are determined to offload the French international during the transfer window. Now, this story has been doing the rounds for the past 24 hours with a few different journalists. I mean, I don't understand. Do they think we're dumb or something? Like, why do they keep bringing this up?
Banter. Banter. I think it's
Pure,
banter. Well,
pure
literally,
banter.
I think I read somewhere where he actually rejected us. He just said, "Yeah, I'm not coming. I'm not going there." I'm like, "What are you trying to do? You trying to like put us through the mud? Like, do you want us on?" I know Sports Bible and all those other little media outlets. They want to take the piss out of us, but you're just giving them ammo. Like, what are you doing? Like, leave us alone. Allow it, man. But it's mad. It's obviously because of the Kane links, because they're saying, "Oh,
Yeah.
Kane going one direction, and then he could go on loan before he goes to Real Madrid." I think that's the reason why, like, the press are trying to build a story out of it. Obviously, there's no story to be had. To be fair, why would you leave Champions League for a season? Even for a season, like Champions League, like you could go
He's
anywhere in
not
the
going to
world.
Saudi, though.
I think he came out. I think he's come out and said that. I don't know. I thought I read it. I could be wrong. That he said, "Nah, you'd rather be on the bench than go to Saudi League."
Really? Wow. For that
That's what I
money as
read.
well, 12, 13 million a week. Like, how can
I think it's
anyone say that?
because I think he's more looking. 'Cause remember, he's getting bread. He's getting bread at Paris. So
Yeah.
I don't
What,
know. Like,
800K a week or something?
I know it's not that crazy, but I just think him as a footballer. I think he looks at his career and he wants to be levels. He wants to get to that Ronaldo, that Messi level, and
Yeah.
so he's nowhere near done. So for him to like be talked about from Saudi, he might feel like it's disrespectful. It's disrespectful. Do you know what I
It's
mean?
just 1 year, though. It's just a way for him to keep fit, basically, throughout that year, instead of sitting on the bench for PSG week in, week out, get
Mm.
paid like obscene amount of money, and then go to Real Madrid for free.
Yeah, I hear that, but I don't know. He might not see it like that. He might see
Mm,
like money is not an object for him. Do you know what I mean? Like for some
yeah,
people, they think, right, that's life changing. Do you know what I mean? If you look at the players that have gone to Saudi Arabia, most of them they've been playing ball for a
yeah,
minute. I'm not saying like Mbappe hasn't, but
yeah.
they're
No, not
at more
exactly.
like towards the end of their careers, apart from maybe
Apart
my
from a
man
few,
football.
there's a few that hasn't,
There's a
but yeah,
couple, yeah. There's a couple, but the majority of them, I'm saying, the
yeah,
majority of
yeah,
them, they look like they're at the end of their. So they're looking for a little payday. They might not be able to get that same type of guap anywhere else. So, but me personally, I think with him, he's looking like he'd rather go on a loan, like because there's a bag of clubs that are after him for a loan. I see Inter Milan, they're after him. They're in Champions League,
mm,
obviously. There's Chelsea were rumored, but apparently they're trying to distance themselves.
Man U as
Um,
well. Right?
Man U are part of it, and I'm sure there's other clubs that we just don't know about. Do you know what I mean? That are probably trying to wiggle their way into the loan situation. Because who wouldn't want Mbappe on loan? There's a host of clubs that are in the Champions League that he could play for a season. Why go to Saudi and play with that? Nah, it just doesn't make sense to me. I don't know.
No, why doesn't he just become a real legend? Come to Tottenham, win a trophy this season, then go to Real Madrid and do your thing.
Yeah, man, just come down to the Spurs and just do it up, man. Imagine we just got him and we got Moani as well. Colin Moani, and just
And Tapsoba.
Tapsoba. We just started building. Like for one season, we just said, "Right, we're gonna push for the title." That would be crazy, but yeah. It's all right to dream, sometimes and be slightly deluded. It's all right. We can.
Look, it's late at night. It's close to dream time. So look, we're gonna have dreams of Kylian Mbappe in a Spurs shirt tonight. But Ash, thank you so much for coming on today.
No worries, man.
You want to tell the people what's going on Southview COYS this week?
Yes, so we're going to be analysing some of the transfers that we've been linked with. So we've got Conor Gallagher. I've done an analysis on him. So if you want to tune in to have an in-depth look at him, there's some other players as well that we've been linked with that we're going to look at. A few defenders, and also who's the last player we were linked with? I forget, but there's other players as well. We're going to do like analysis on them. Probably do a little bit of talk. Oh, yeah, that's it. Well, no, I did him last week. Sorry. So if you haven't seen that video, guys, check him out. We did Moani. We kind of guessed that was going to happen, so we're quite forefront in our targets. But yeah, there's a few players we're going to be looking at, man. So yeah, check us out.
Sweet.
And that's 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock tomorrow. 9 o'clock Tuesday.
Go check that out on Southview COYS. But Ash, thank you so much for coming on once again, and we'll see you all very soon. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, somebody Spurs.
Spurs.